he's a bit of a Liverpool legend. The career that he's had, if you go through his back catalogue of shows and events and stuff, it is endless. He's done everything from walking the cobbles to obviously his music career is incredible, radio career, and tons more in between. West Derby Comp was the school that he was made in. Canny Farm here in Liverpool is Craig Charles. How are you, mate?
I'm all right, man. Cheers. God, you make me sound so old.
How do you describe yourself, Craig? When someone says, what do you do for a living? How do you put that into words? Because you do everything.
I don't know, really. I just entertainment, I suppose. Entertainment, yeah. My wife calls me a chocolate love monkey, so you know what I mean. I, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't really describe myself much. I don't really think about it. I just kind of get on and do it. I'm very forward thinking. I don't really like looking back. That's why I kind of, you know. I mean, a lot of. I mean, I'm very lucky that a lot of the stuff I do seems to get revived and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? And people want me to do it, and it's like, well, you know what? I've done that. I did that for years, and I'm doing something else now. So I mean, I did what Red Dwarf. I mean, we're still thinking about doing another Red Dwarf, but like Robot Wars, did that, got the T-shirt, got the jacket. I collect all the jackets.
Big
Scottish
wardrobe.
Castle, did that, got the T-shirt, move on. Gadget Show, did that 5 years, move on. So now I'm on the radio 6 days a week on Six Music. So I'm 2 years into this. I'm enjoying it, but I didn't realize it was going to be such hard work. Like, because I mean, it goes out live from 1 till 4, but like I mean, you can see I'm in the studio now. I mean,
Yeah, now, yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like there's a lot of prep involved, because we just won the best music entertainment show in the Arias, which is like a great award to win, but it just adds the pressure, really, just because you want to win it again, then, don't you? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like,
Craig,
just like, oh God, you've got to keep the standards
got
up.
to keep the standards high. I'm a
Yeah.
radio man, mate. I used to work at Radio City and stuff. It's great to hear a Scouser do so well within radio because obviously it was quite limiting back in the day in terms of our accents getting
Mhm.
on the radio. You managed to do it and you're still there on a national, global, if you like, level. Has that been tough to do that? Have you ever had any kind of anyone saying, I'm not having a Scouser on?
I don't know. I've always thought that my voice could have helped me, really. I mean, because it's not really about accents, is it? It's about tone. You know what I mean? And it's about the tone of your voice. And you do have to have a nice voice for radio, but it's a tone, not an accent. I mean, look at Terry Wogan. He was Irish, but he had a lovely tone to his voice. Ken Bruce, Scottish, lovely tone to his voice. And there's some people I hear on radio and they've got such screechy voices. I think, oh, please just stop talking and play the music. Honest, I can't stand it. I'm going to turn over. No, I'm gone. But so it's about tones of voice rather than accents. Um, so I've always thought that my voice is kind of like has stood me in good stead. I love a Scouse accent, me. Sort of I find it really warm and friendly.
I feel like we're getting.
Certain Scouse accents that aren't, though. Let's be
Yeah, oh
fair.
yeah. There's a few out there, naming no names, but I feel like it's getting better though, isn't it? The Scousers appearing on adverts now and stuff, and
Yeah,
that's good. Things are changing a little bit in that respect.
yeah.
Obviously your TV, you mentioned Red Dwarf and Coronation Street and stuff. We got to talk about those shows. Corrie, for instance, was a massive part of your career. You were there for 10 years on the
10 years, yeah. Yeah. It,
Do you miss Coronation Street? I bet that was hard work.
not really. I don't miss it. It was a lot easier in the radio because like, I mean, you're part of a massive ensemble cast in Corrie, and you might some days you'd film, say, 2 scenes on a Tuesday, 3 scenes on a Thursday, and the rest of the week could be your own. Do you know what I mean? Um, if you've got a big storyline, then you are in 5, 6 days a week, working 12-hour days. But a big storyline would come along once every couple of years. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it, but it flew by. I didn't realize. I didn't plan to stay 10 years, but they make it hard for you to leave. Because like everything's so comfortable. It's not. I don't find it that taxing. I'm really good at learning lines, so that wasn't a problem for me. I had a great working relationship with Simon Gregson, who played Steve McDonald. So we just had a laugh, and we'd get into trouble quite a bit. The producer would have us up to her office or his office, at least once a month saying, Craig, Simon, can you stop using the script as a template? Because we just like, we just sit there and just start riffing. I'd say something like, who do you think could win in a fight between Batman and Spider-Man? And like, and then we just riff on it, and all the crew would be laughing and all that, and they'd take it and they'd tell us off, but they put it in.
Yeah,
You know?
leave it in.
Yeah,
Well, what
yeah.
was it like with the legends of Corrie? Because obviously there's so many. It's that one show, isn't there, where it's just full of people who've been in it for years and years.
Yeah.
Barbara and Sue Nichols and people like that. What's it like working with people like that?
Well, I mean, great. I mean, they're all very professional. I mean, they've been doing it an awful long time. Sue Nichols is just a beautiful human being. Um, and yeah, I mean, these guys are like, I mean, they've been doing it so long. I mean, uh, they're faultless in their lines and their preparation. I mean, they could teach the young ones a thing or two about timeliness and knowing your lines, hitting your mark, finding the lights, saying it like you mean it, and then going home. I mean, that's basically all it is.
Yeah. You started here in Liverpool, mate, and as mentioned, West Derby Comp, which was just around the corner from me, and brought up in Cantrell Farm, Canny Farm as we call it.
Yeah.
What was the point in Liverpool that you kind of started your onward journey into the entertainment industry?
Well, we moved from Canny Farm up to Smithdown Road, Claremont Road off Smithdown, when I was about 11. And I was still going to West Derby, like, but I had an English teacher, Mr. Broad, who, gave us a poem to write as an exercise. And he really liked what I did. And he started getting right behind me and stuff like that. And then I started going down to the Everyman Bistro and hang around the Everyman Bistro. And this is when I'm 14, 15, and I'm befriended Adrian Henry, who was one of the great Liverpool poets, Adrian Henry, Brian Patton, Roger McGough, the Liverpool scene. And I started doing sort of recitals with them when I was 14, 15, 16. And then someone from the BBC came down and saw me doing a recital at the Everyman Bistro when I was about 16 and put me on a show called Riverside on BBC Two, which is like a BBC Two arts program. And then it all just exploded. And I got a couple of John Peel sessions and they went really well. He put me as a number 7 in his Festive 50. And all of it, the next minute, I'm moved to London. I'm doing a show called Black on Black, which is like a black arts program for Channel 4. And then Wogan was becoming a 3-day-a-week chat show. And he asked me to do the first Friday on his chat show. And I used to do every Friday for Wogan. And that was a massive audience then. But they're only talking 4 channels back then. And that was massive then. And then started doing a thing called Saturday Night Live with me, Ben Elton, Fry and Laurie, Harry Enfield. We were the regulars. And I was doing all these angry young man poems about Thatcher and the police and blah, blah, blah. And the guy who was producing that was leaving. A guy called Paul Jackson was leaving to do this curious BBC Two sitcom set in space called Red Dwarf. And I was 23. And I said, can I have a look at the script? He gave me the script because he wanted me to tell me if I thought the part of the cat was racist. And I said, no, it's not racist. It's just funny. Can I be Lister? And he went, no, fuck off. And I went, no. And I just hassled him and hassled him and hassled him and hassled him. And in the end, I got the part. And I'd never acted before. And I was 23. And, 35 years later, I was talking about doing the next series, So it's kind of like, it's been a strange ride, really. And, from Red Dwarf, you get offered all these weird things like Robot Wars and Takeshi's Castle and stuff like that, and it all just snowballed. Really, I've not actually had time to breathe. It just keeps going on. Every time I think I've screwed it up for good, it just gets bigger.
Did you kind of expect it at all, or was it just a complete surprise when you were getting all these offers?
It was purely accidental. I had no preparation for it, no training for it. No one gives you media. We never had media studies at West Derby, put it that way. Do you know what I mean? Never had any media training there.
No.
You know what I mean? God, it's like, careers officer. I want to be a poet, sir. Shut up and sit down, Charles.
Well, it's obviously a different landscape now, isn't it, for kids, as you mentioned. But I suppose the essence is get your head down, do the work, keep going. That's probably the best advice you could give someone trying to get into entertainment.
Yeah, just keep knocking on doors, keep trying to improve what you do, um, be on time, be reliable, uh, and just right, just know what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? So like, prepare. I mean, that's a lot of this stuff is about preparation. Like, I mean, you watch a chef in the kitchen, putting all the ingredients together. Some of these things some of them take days to cook, with the marinade and all that kind of stuff. And like the meal's over in 15 minutes, but they've like had 2 days preparation for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you do the preparation.
Put the work in.
Yeah.
The reason you're on, mate, I'd love to chat to you all day about your career because it's just so vast. Is your show that you're doing on Boxing Night in Content, which is a fantastic venue in the Baltic Triangle, home of Bongos Bingo. You bring in the funk and soul house party for Boxing Night in Liverpool.
Yeah.
What can we expect, mate?
Oh, mate, it's just a good time music, good time people, party, party, party. I mean, it's sort of like we've done Boxing Day for many years in Liverpool now. It's my great chance to get home and spend a bit of Christmas with all my mates and stuff like that. So my green room is a proper party as well. Yeah, I go on stage for a rest, but it's like, mate, honestly, it's just like banging bass, blooming brass, booger, blooming Lou. It's sort of like, it's just good time music, good time vibes. The golden era of Black American music remixed for a modern dance floor. It's got, because the thing about it is I mean, you can be into heavy rock, you can be into heavy metal, you can be into death metal, you can be into anything, but everyone's still got their three favorite soul tunes. Do you know what I mean? So it's a genre that crosses all boundaries, all ages. We have 18-year-olds, we have 80-year-olds, we have everything in between. It's just a good time. It's dancing, drinking, partying, and blowing off some steam. You
Which is
know,
on a bank holiday as well, which is
yeah,
perfect.
getting rid of that Christmas stodge, mate. You know what I mean?
When you're DJing, for me, I've been to a few of your gigs. It looks like you're on stage. Well, you are, but you're
Mm.
really into it, aren't you? There's nothing worse than when you're in a club or something, and the DJ's just kind of standing there like that. You
Yeah.
get into that zone, and you are loving the music the same as the party goers are.
Yeah, I mean, it's to me, it's not a job. You know what I mean? People think I work really hard, and I say, "Do you think that's work?" I get to go to the coolest parties, and they let me choose the music. You know what I mean? So yeah, of course I'm into it. I love it. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of like, I mean, it's the only way to be a rock star with no discernible musical talent. Do you know what I mean? And I really go for it. I know all the words, all the dancers. I just yeah, yeah. You're right. I hate seeing those DJs that just look too cool for school. You
Yeah,
know,
it's boring, isn't it?
all those ones on the computers as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You look like
yeah.
the working in the sittings of the Vice Bureau. It's like, mate, you know what I mean? Let your head down.
You obviously love music, mate. You can see that in everything that you do. Mainly your six music show, as you said, 6 days a week now. You're DJing the shows that you put on. What do you love most about music? What is it that gets you going with it?
Well, to me, it was always a release because I spent so much time on telly, right? And I knew all these people on the telly when I was watching it, and I knew that a load of them were arseholes. So I could never watch the telly because so
Any
many.
names?
No, 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 Dave. Because so many people annoyed me. I couldn't watch the telly, so I had to stick the record player on. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things. It took me out of the telly world, and I could only relax through listening to music. And I've been on telly since I was like 16, 17. So that was my release. That was my escape. Was music. And through an accident of birth, I mean, I've been through, and I've been at the cutting edge of so many musical things. I mean, I was born in '64, so by the time I'm 5, 6, 7, Liverpool's swinging to the Beatles. But in our house, my dad arrived in Liverpool in 1958, Liverpool docks with a pocket full of change and a bag full of records. And in our house, we were listening to BB King and Ray Charles and Muddy Waters and John Lee Hooker and Harry Belafonte and Johnny Mathis and stuff like that. So I got all that through my dad, all the Beatles stuff through my mum. And then went to West Derby, and I was hanging out with the lads with the duffel coats and smelt of patchouli oil and the long hair, and we were listening to Led Zeppelin and White Snake and Black Sabbath and Yes, and Tangerine Dream and Rainbow and White Snake, all these kind of bands. And so I got into me prog like that, and then all of a sudden, when I'm 13, 14, punk kicks off, 1976. Punk kicks off. So I'm like a young teenager while punk's going on. And punk died fairly quickly, but it was taken over by two-tone and, the two-tone revival and new wave. And so, I'm in in the middle of all these, musical changes. And then when we started filming Red Dwarf in Manchester in 1988, it's when Manchester kicked off and the Hacienda opened. So we were at the Hacienda every Friday night until 5 a.m. And then we'd get 5 hours sleep and be on set to try and film an episode of Red Dwarf on the Saturday.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, so there was no acting there when we all looked.
Yeah.
So I was in the middle of all that. So I've been stuck in the middle, and of course I was knocking around Liverpool when all the Liverpool. I mean, there was one stage there was like 14 Liverpool bands in the top 40. So I used to knock around I used to knock around at Probe Records. I used to hang out with Pete Burns when he was really scary, when he had the cat's eyes in, and Ian Brody. And, so I was in, with Echo and a Bunny when Pete Wiley's a good mate. So I was in all that Liverpool scene as well. So I've been in the middle of music for my whole life. It was my escape from being a TV star, if you know what I mean.
Within that, you've just mentioned about 62 genres of music there. That's kind of what your Six Music show is about, isn't it? It's just good music. Just tell us about the show. If anyone hasn't never listened to Six Music on your show, what can we expect?
Well, the daytime show, 1 till 4, it goes up 1 till 4 on Six Music every afternoon, and it's just an eclectic mix. I call it hits and giggles. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like we have some great guests on. We play some great music from all genres. And it's a music-based show. It's for people who like their music more than sort of inane disc jockey chat, if you know what I mean. Because there's some of that I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't consider myself a disc jockey, all right. So so it's a music show for music lovers, all types of different music, loads of laughs, and just a good way to spend your afternoon. If you haven't listened to it, give us a listen.
1 till 4, and that's over a week. Do you get back to Liverpool much, mate? Just before you finish, do you miss?
Not really. That's a problem, really, because my mum and dad are dead. My brother's Dean died while I was in the jungle. My brother Emil lives in London, so I've got no family there really. And although I don't live that far away, I only get down there about 3 or 4 times a year. You know what I mean? But I love going home for Boxing Day. I love. Because Liverpool, no one does Christmas like Liverpool does Christmas brilliantly. Do you know what I mean? And no one can throw a party like Scousers. So that's why I just love going back. All my mates, we always have Boxing Day and a couple of other times throughout the year. But like I have to sneak in. Do you know what I mean? Because sneak in because I don't know. I don't know why, but I get a reaction in Liverpool, which is really really nice. But you don't get much privacy.
I can imagine. But you are. I'm not just saying this. You loved in Liverpool because we look at you and see what you've done and go, yeah, he's one of us. You know what I mean? I think there's probably a freedom of the city coming your way. So brace yourself for that at some point over the next few years. Listen, mate, we'll see you at Content on Boxing Night in the Baltic Triangle. Just finally tell us why people should book their tickets.
Oh, it's going to be the best night of the year. That's why, honestly. You know what I mean? No sleep till way past bedtime.
Craig Charles, thank you so much, mate. Thanks for chatting.
Cheers now. You have a good day.